이 나무도 저기 점로 제거야 이제 주sem바 남기 남보 점로체 점로 개위들 점력 건조숨을 야 접수도 점로 제가 지거레스 내 점로체 제주갑래네야 네 산요 건조다 랑기 제위 라마 대경호 예매도 단에 구송토기 연대 잼비고 돈에는 점로 안 어두서 점로체 네 점로체 발에 점로체네 되네 아니 탈바다 가서 그래 주심 기 돈달라 뇌중 다는 맛이 진짜로 소바 곰제 주심 님레제 귤레게 주심 기네 샤래야 아니 지게 상여 줌는디기 샤래 펜바 두고 송바나신 제 그런 저기 파신 두게 님레신의 신기 디기 주야다 동아세야래야 자와 강치 시거레스 안전주심 bedine 제반자 나로 주이네야 안에 권주숨나 접수주비 겸로 귤레 끼와다 안에 사여 권조다 랑게 라마니키 신인이 오예메도 대외권에 구송도도 연제 잼벽권에 될라 제지 대바 제주 제다 난 점주를 납자 대 나는 랑게 라미게 소소랑 람냠는 지역이 강한 템바디다 나가 저기 냠솔래야디 계침보레서 디진 쇼게 디고시로와
And this morning we looked at the verse on going for refuge, or we concluded with looking at the verse on going for refuge. And all those who aspire to become bodhisattvas and bodhisattvas themselves go for refuge to the three jewels, the Buddha jewel, Dharma jewel and Sangha jewel. Moreover, those who are bodhisattvas and those who aspire to the bodhisattva paths, they meditate on the indivisible nature of how the Lama and the Buddha are indivisible in nature. And recognizing the great qualities of the Lama and his incomparable kindness, then they turn towards him in meditation, requesting blessings for success in their trainings in order to generate bodhicitta, be counted amongst bodhisattvas. And they then train in the way that was described this morning, and when the bodhicitta is eventually developed through a sustained training, then with stable bodhicitta and experience of the six perfections, they are able to re-enter society and engage directly in beneficial activities, striving to be of greatest benefit to sentient beings. In particular, turning others towards refuge, meaning showing them how to accumulate virtue and turn away from non-virtue. So we ourselves who aspire to emulate our role models, we aspire to cultivate the bodhisattva paths within us, and we should do the same and train in the same way. And in particular, having gone for refuge, we should meditate on the invisible, that there being no difference in terms of nature between the Buddha and our Lama. And having meditated in this way, we should put particular energy into the precepts of refuge, which were presented in an abbreviated way, which means to fulfill the advice of our teachers, slightly more elaborated. We need to hear teachings, reflect on them, meditate on them. We need to cultivate all the various trainings that our teachers have presented to us.
아디네 장아주 쇼게 다티 점로 고시에도 당도 점로들라 가르치라 그랬으네 점로지에 규디라 니레스 당보 규디라 가르라나 코위가서 동아들라 타고 코위 동아래 타고도 선비게 너 코와래卷 다제 코위 동아래 타르게 삼바지에데 직제 아니 다 코와 동아래 타고 코위 동아래 타고 있나 내 코와 동아들을 껴베 니버도 술을 요래스네 되네 건조숨나 요래스네 근데 건조숨나 요래서 이치베게 예 여베 이치디 안 직제 안 디니데데 점르기 규례제 다 되네 점롱원에데 가려람나 되니게 삼문이디 계세위제랑 알아주길라 당 알아주 코위 심제 탐지기 코위 동아 타달래 점네 건조숨이 껴그래 선비게 셈딩기 이치데라 점로라고 그래 장저 디린 쇼게 점로데 되네 레시데 디르와다.
As we heard this morning in the presentation on refuge, that refuge is cultivated within one by cultivating two causes. The first is independence on prior meditation, independence on meditation on the sufferings experienced by all beings in samsara. Give rise to the wish, may I be freed of such suffering. I don't want to suffer in this way. May I be liberated from such suffering. So here, having generated a strong wish to be freed of the sufferings of samsara, we then move to cultivate the second cause for refuge, namely, who has the ability to provide protection from suffering. And here we think of the qualities of the three jewels, coming to see that it's through cultivating the three jewels, in particular the Dharma jewel within us, that protection will be provided. That the three jewels have the qualities to guide us to the development of lasting protection from suffering. And then, in dependence on the cultivation of these two causes, from the depths of our heart, with sincere conviction in the three jewels' ability to provide protection from suffering, we have then cultivated the mind of refuge.
아니 건조숨기 하나도 동아에 매봐 쇠시 아니야 건조숨기야 맞아 동아들을 겹제 야 안디기를 거야 여러 배세네 되네 요 말에 제가서 산얘기 건조숨기 하나도 가야 맞제바지 아니 하나도 빼 건조숨기 또 겹으려서 이지 지어야 돼 건조숨기 하나도야 동아들을 파타르체네 이제 락외게 찍네 야제 출퇴샤반 주나라 자괴나 나부 출렌체 감살라 수샤바나 신체가 동아리야 되는지 야 안에 대화를 야 다 타발에 탈벽고만을 야 되는 여러 배세네 되네 요 말해지래 제가 아주게 건조숨의 이치 제배네 건조숨이 되네 좀 마성의 동아세 마성 선비게 용시기로 와 제가 되네 한 삼단에 디노르레스.
So here, I want to guard you against, or advise you to guard your minds against perhaps a common misunderstanding. When we turn towards the three jewels for refuge, we go to the three jewels for refuge, for protection, for assistance. What we should not be under the impression of is that the three jewels, or the Buddha, for example, can themselves protect us. No matter how strong our faith is, how earnest our prayers are, the Buddha cannot remove our suffering. There's a sutra quotation here that I want to share. I cannot wash away your misdeeds with water. I cannot remove the suffering of beings with my hands. I cannot transfer my realizations to you. The only way I can help you is by teaching and you striving to liberate yourself. So here the Buddha himself makes it very clear that just heartfelt, earnest requests and prayers for protection is not enough. The Buddha, despite his perfected state, cannot wash away our misdeeds. He cannot bestow his realizations upon us. What he can and has done is teach the complete unmistaken path. And that is for us then to cultivate within ourselves.
Dene ina konjosumgi ane ganis kyogures konjosum kyogures ichi chedu ane konjosumgi ngazu gaya maje baje ane konjosumgi ngazu dunga se Thogme noas ane konjosumgi ganis kyogore lamna ngazu ge dunga se di dunga di yoya di ane gyudan kinjile tin yoya yongro 지난 gyudan kinjile tin yoya san di meba soya den gyudan kinjile tin meba soya ko gore 지난다 gyudan kinjile tin meba soya ko inza tadi 가니스 매와 수그래라나 다템바상이 쯤는 디기 나랑절이야 아니 냠는 제타 결혼삼로 되네시다셔스 두스 공고래 디곰바이나 아니 나가서 가서게 인규 녀모바티가 투고레스 제가 디네 까바이나 녀모발 나서게 기게 말레스 Zanyama also like Gule, Sasha, Yobaina, and also Dennis Comche, the Yamlet Dipati Matagores, and Tamazu, Kuru Dumale, Tayage, Tablamdi, San Yujemnedi Sungore, Dingore, Jesa kept Jumbo Bossage, on Denig Sungore, Denig Nubadi, the Chasang Bandis Tingoina, Yonso Soba, Manoa, Machuba, Chasa Ding, Nubadi, San Yujemne de la Yore, Chesa San Yujemnedi Dingore, Ejede. That did do. Tang Arazuki, Sosorangi, Titemba Nashin, Jenarazuki, Labjebanaji, Sosuki, Yamlinchi, Soso Assembly, Samlata, Gom, Yane, and Gomche, Yam, the Lalenta Gore. The Lalenta du Kabla, Soso Mashing Bada, the Nigger, Rochi, Gentungo, Rochi Gorda, Rochi, and Anzo, Mashing Bati, Lavia, then Rochi, Pember Rochi, the Gentungo, Roche, then Anzo Yamlinchi. Chesangando do chen Yamneje Yane Yano some daje, and then Sanjiki Sunship, Dumbiki, Sunshabatella, Yamlenche, and the machine beginning go to Roche Batel, Roche. Chesan Dini Jebal Tedu, and Arzukula, Lamdin said the Gulaki on du, and the Yomo Papaya go to war. Chesan Lamdin said the Gulaki Sadu, Nason the Kia Yomare, and then Yawaida Dundula Kia, Mangason the Kia, Tarsarada. Dine Lamdin Gulaki, say Jela, and Nanson Kia Yomare. Inayang, Koala Tario Maracas and Korean Yomo, Gasokora Tayo Mare. Sinadang Lamdin Gom, Lamdin, De Yane and Gomba Latine, and the Chio Concho said, Young Goktin said to war. Chesan Digaso, Yomomba, Rikchik Chunga, Rikchik Pangore. And those in the Yane and Gomba Latine, and Tamang Azugi. Nyangti said that Tarba said Tobiodi, Chio Conjon and so Tarba said Tobiodi, then I'm going to call you Tadal dress tower, Edge, Koala Paware, Koala Tower, Edge, Dunga, then Dunga Tower. Says I'm going to call you Dunga Tar said Tardandi, Dennis Tergore. Chida Sayi, Cubin, Conjusum, the Cubin, Nuba Yore, City, Sayi, Tablam Tang, Nuba Chasama, Sangela Yoba. Gideon Gonjogi, Manzolia, Robotjeg, Nuba Chasan, Gideon Gonjola Yoba. That Robert Chen Anzuki Yamlin Jabana, Chio Conchojan Anzukuli Kebaina, then Korea Dunga Tadalek, Tatuege, Nubadi Yobaza, Temne Conjo Sumla, Dunga, Tavi, Nubadi Yores, and Nubadi. Then that Kowa let Tartan, the Kyoptan, the Dineshi. Chesa Dineza, Sosurangi, Sanjigi, Lamdin Nang Shaba Telea, Uda Pradachin, Nyamso Lembaina, and the Kowa letter to Gore, Kowa letter to Gore. Sosurangi, Dinik Majebaina, and the Yamlin Matawaina, Lalan Matawaina, the Koala Tartuya Mevarada. Chesam Gonjosumgi, Manzo Korea Dunga, Gyoptan de Dineshi, Eje. The disabled Hako had a Gechimochagore.
Then can I Yanka de Nang Chik Yanka Songtang, can they do the
Lamdin Gulaki, Ansolaki, Yomare, Ansolaki, Tarsarada, Lamdin Gulaki, San, then Newala Kigmare, Dundula Kigmare, the Idalaki Gomare.
And then the Gokten in a Dadum, Gokten Dadum Drup Garet in Murden in Yamlenje, Gokten Drup do, then a
Yomoba Chirin, Momba or Gotella. Gordon told me Lamsang Koala Tergo Marva. Gordon you saw a Tarbase told me didn't call it Tergores, Koriduma Tadal Joares. Then your mall must Rimba Pando or Gordon then the Rimba Mangoyorva. Dina that Tarbase told the Tarbi Gordon, Yande said, and they told you, and then Koriduma dress Chasan dress Savarege.
That sutra quotation made clear the way the Buddha can and does help us, why he is such a perfect object of refuge, is that it's through teaching to us, and then in conjunction us striving to liberate ourselves, that we can attain freedom from suffering. And this is because, as the Buddha has taught, that all the sufferings, our suffering experiences, all the experiences of suffering throughout samsara are dependent arisings. They come about in dependence on causes and conditions. And that means if they are dependent on causes and conditions, they can be eliminated. And how does one eliminate them? through cultivating contrary causes. Or to put it in brief, we need to train our mind, develop our way of thinking. And here the Buddha, in his numerous teachings, he taught how to identify what suffering is and the causes of suffering, and then how to eliminate those causes of suffering. In other words, he taught us how to identify that it's the afflicted minds that cause us to suffer, and how to initially guard ourselves from coming under their influence, and moreover, at that same time, to weaken their strength, and eventually to be able to eliminate them, so that we no longer are influenced by them at all. Buddha Shakyamuni, the teacher of refuge, taught these faultless methods. And this is why the Buddha jewel is called the teacher of refuge. So whether we do achieve our desired freedom from suffering is entirely up to us. We have met the pure and unmistaken teachings of the Buddha. It's now up to us whether we train our mind or not, whether we put the Buddha's teachings into practice or not. This is how liberation is achieved. Independence on the Buddha Dharma having been taught, and on guidance and care from the Sangha jewel, our companions in our spiritual development. It is up to us to develop the Dharma jewel within ourselves, to develop freedom from suffering within ourselves. And through implementing the teachings, through training our minds, through practicing meaning gaining experience of the teachings, we will give rise to true paths. And in this way, when we first attain a true path in our continuum, we attain liberation from any possibility of rebirth in the lower realms. We can never again be reborn in the hells, or as a spirit, or as an animal. We can never attain such a rebirth due to our karma. And as we continue to develop the qualities within ourselves, because there are many stages to true paths and to true cessations. As we develop ever stronger realizations within ourselves, we eventually will then attain liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from samsara in its entirety, or freedom from samsara in its entirety, the state of nirvana. And it's at that point that the Dharma jewel has been fully developed within ourselves. We will never again take uncontrolled rebirth in samsara. So here, when we go for refuge, we're turning towards the faultless Buddha jewel who has taught the peerless path to us. We're turning towards the Sangha jewel for their guidance and assistance and companionship. We're turning towards the Dharma jewel, the actual refuge, with the determination. It is the cultivation by ourselves of the Dharma jewel within our continuum that is what actually provides protection from suffering. And this is what I commit wholeheartedly to doing. So it's important to understand what's been said here, that merely with, no matter how strong one's faith and earnest one's prayers are, if that is the sum of one's refuge, one will not attain protection from suffering. One has to train, one has to hear teachings, reflect, and meditate on them repeatedly over a sustained period. And only then is liberation possible. So this is a crucial point to understand.
건조 숨겨 거기에 동안에 겹타디 안 되네스 맞아 아니 랑기 가야 제 먹어 제 아니 건조기야 지 동안에 줘셔야 탈벽고 환을 끼리세디 디 디고 말스 그냥 저기 넘버 32디 디고 킬링고 말 디고 말스 그래서 넘버 32기 데데 동안에 겹타디 건조 숨기 동안에 겹타디 데데 디레스 그래서 디레스.
This is the way then to go for refuge, not with any misunderstanding that with the hope that the Buddha will be able to wash away our misdeeds, that he will be able to remove our suffering with his hands, that he will transfer his realizations to us. The correct understanding is it's through receiving his teachings and reflecting on them, and doing so repeatedly over a sustained period with great energy, that we will be able to liberate ourselves.
Adi yenche la nganzu lamrim jebaina ane kaso kibo chumya lamji rimba nyamne chela nyele ya ane jamro che da gewi shin tin zu chiwa mi da pa ba sa chi sam da na jo ro wa di ro di xie sa wa de
Kibo chumya
kibo chumya lam nyamne chela nyele ya gewi shin tin zu ane chiwa mi da pa kum zu ane kaso re ane jeke konjo sonwa jamro che du se yo ro wa di che di ro di xie sa wa de chi ba de.
In terms of the general presentation in the Lamrim tradition, the graduated stages of the path to enlightenment, then the meditation topics covered here, those of refuge and of relying on spiritual teacher and on death and impermanence, then these are included within the trainings that are shared or that are common to the practitioner of initial capacity.
Dadin ma tikshe sabadi, dadin ma ane nga tsuki nga songu dunga kanda chi mi chasan tibi lele tene chungo re sene ane sangyo chumne songo re se di kor ma shuya re tsikti shindu suki nga son dunga nam tibi le ki debu tubi songs deshir so la babja migi le namya mi che kese lale yin songo re.
Now we come to the 8th practice of Bodhisattvas. And here, this practice presents how all sufferings of the lower realms come from negative karma. The manifold torments of the lower realms, so difficult to bear, were taught by the Buddha to be the result of non-virtuous karma. Thus, even at the risk of my own life, never committing harm is the practice of Bodhisattvas.
Shindu suki ngason dunga nam sidwe ta ngason yu dunga diki shigorwa chesa nyawa ita dundro sete ngason delia dunga pato meba chike nyongoya pene ta ngason yu dunga labina ani chike dunga pato meba nyongoya ta ida ina tiokom yu dunga pato meba nyongoya ta dene nyawa ina nyawa chanya ta chanya ta dene ki nyewe dunga pato meba nyongoya shindu mesuba sidbe suye ka kale hago shu nyongoya yore chirwa ta shindu suyu ki ngaso dunga nams chesa dene ki dunga pato meba nyongoya yore es na dene dunga pato meba nyongoya yore na dunga diki yudan kien meba ane gaya rangi ngoyne chungdu ba rebesin denes kaya mares chesna chesan yudan kien chile tene yungore yudan kien la tene yungore es chesan ko dujere inzan yudan kien la tene yungore jere.
Okay, the first line, the manifold torments of the lower realms, so difficult to bear. Here, this is about the innumerable and unimaginable forms of suffering that those born in the hell realms are experiencing, that those who are born as spirits are experiencing, and those born as animals are experiencing. These unimaginable forms of suffering are incredibly difficult to bear. All of these forms of suffering, though, all of them, came about in dependence on causes and conditions. They are not causeless. They all have come about in dependence on causes and conditions.
Jidanga zumile ya mi dunga da le dunga nywa yore ina da di mi dunga da le dunga di kap shi go mara da di kap she di ma so sum dunga di ke si or di go shi go re.
Of course, being bound within the so-called happier migrations of rebirth as a human or as a god, to suffer, they also suffer, of course, but that is not what is being referred to here. Here it's the low realms that are being referred to.
Di ka so kare shi go sne ke wu chung da tumo lam yirin ba se lo chang ta di go shi go re ma zo lam rim che ba ne ke wu chung da tumo lam yirin ba lo chang wa se jo ro o di da di ke wu chung da tumo lam yirin ba lo chang ta go shi go re.
And the reason for that is because this practice here from the perspective of the lama divisions, is a practice that is shared with a being of initial capacity.
Gyudan Kye Mebala Chunwa Mare, Gyudan Kye Le Tene Chunwa Re, Sena Swan Inda, and Gyugarel Tene Chunwa Re, Lana, and Deso, and Dibe Ladies, Dibe Legi, Tebur to Pesung, Dibe Legi, Lelet in the Chunwa Res, says not Dibache, Nanzo, Lunga, Yusum Yokon, and Dibache, and Dibe Legi, Tebu Tela, and Dibe Legi, Shuk Chambo Savaina, and the Nyawala Kigres, Deletus Chunwa Jena, Idalakiana. Dene dele chungwa ro chine da dundrol ki ro re chesa nyewi dunga da idagi dunga dundru dunga chasa ane gyugare le dene gesine nyema dikba le ngambi dikbe dibu re si sungore dibu re si gorda.
All the sufferings that our beings in the lower realms are experiencing have come about in dependence on causes and conditions. And those causes or previously accumulated non-virtuous karma. Non-virtuous karma that has been of a great magnitude, when that ripens and propels a rebirth, it will propel a rebirth as a being in the hell realms. When this previously accumulated non-virtuous karma is of middling strength, and when that ripens as a propelling karma, it propels a rebirth as a spirit. And when previously accumulated non-virtue is of a slight strength and ripens as a propelling karma, it will propel rebirth as an animal.
And then the negi dibili jibu in Bardina and that day Ganas Hagu Resina Tubasan Jumne Song Reserita, Dibili Tibures and Tubi Song said Tubasan Jumne, Masunga Dungagi, Gudi Chaza and Gudi and Dibi Lelet in the Juares, Tebudi, in the Juares, Tubasan Jumne Song Res.
So therefore we see that all the rebirths in the suffering lower realms comes from karma, and in particular non-virtuous karma. And how do we know this? Buddha Shakyamuni himself, the founder teacher, taught this explicitly and many times.
Dechir sola babja migele seurda. Chazang migele namya miche kese lale yinche. Chazang dini yinza tang ngansong la kiye ki di dibe le tene ngansong la kiye yoba ina. Chazang ngansong nyansong la kiye ba ina nyawa yida dunrul cheba na dunga pado meba nyoya ta. Ane kanga shivu dunga nyongo ere. Chazang dunga nyoba maze lunga bane ngansong ke dunga ten la kiyewa ngansong la kiyewa lemba ina. Ane ten dele ya nga zuki gewe jawa sayade gyune jetuya mare, chidi gewa druptuya yo mare. Chizan nga zu lunga yesu nyeje tume tsurim sung tuku mare, jimbe nyamne jetuku mare, suebe nyamne jetuku mare. Nizan gewa druya ge, ane koncho liya chebo puya da, shen liya roa chege, dine pambe druge gewa sayade zawa gyune saya gogab ragyo mare. Da gewa saya gogab mare wa ina, ane da nga sungi tenla yangye dibane saya gogab sayapene Mazuki Yawa Ida Dundro Suina, Konrokia Yore, Penete, Dundro Sina, Konrokia Yore, Duachakia Yore, the Negozola Nagia Yore, China, and Chigi Chile, Nova Chiada, the Niki Diva Bottom of Sagora. Chisan Diva Manchi Divagia Sign, Diva Yanga, and the young National Kiyomore, Chisa, Nasolia, Taya Guinea Mary, Gokop Guinea, Taya Medican, Gidina. Nanson la jaki han shi yang nanson ke dus ko la jwa cha gu dus de ni yin zang da nanson de la de ma tan da tap min duas ji san ta go yin zang da nanson la ge ge gyu mi ge le se di de chi so la bab ge mi ge le se de nanson ge mi ge lo de nga pe chi so la nyen ga yo be ne kang ga shi ye ge de ni so la nyen ga yo be ne di be le se de za wa ge chi mes nam ya mi je ni za wa ge chi mes si go nam ya mi je ge se la len se je.
What was just covered there was then the second line from this verse. The manifold torments of the lower realms, so difficult to bear, were taught by the Buddha to be the result of non-virtuous karma. We need to reflect on the manifold sufferings being experienced in the lower realms, these experiences that are difficult for us to even relate to. None of us reflecting on this think, oh, that's where I would like to be born. When this realization arises with us in a powerful way. It will serve to prevent our mind from us allowing our mind going in a direction towards non-virtue because of our determination not to accumulate the causes that will lead to such a rebirth. And this comes about with a clear understanding that rebirth in the lower realms comes about in dependence on causes, and those causes are non-virtuous karma. And therefore, as we see in the third line, that even at the risk of our life, and in the fourth line, we will never commit harm. So this arises within us in dependence on the reflection of the sufferings of the lower realms and understanding that it's non-virtuous karma that leads to such a rebirth. And therefore, we give rise to this determination not to be born there. And the sufferings that beings experience there, these are widely presented and can be read about. But moreover, a second way to understand the great fault of being, or the great danger of being born in the lower realms, is that in the lower realms, one struggles to accumulate even the slightest of virtue. Almost all of one's activities are non-virtuous. And this is because animals, for example, their minds are particularly afflicted. They have pride, they have anger, they have attachment, and these dominate their activities, and therefore, already being born in the lower realms, they continue to accumulate non-virtuous karma. And beings in the lower realms, they cannot come under the direct care of the spiritual teachers. They cannot hear the Buddha Dharma, train their mind in the Buddha Dharma. And therefore, to change their way of thinking, turn away from non-virtuous ways of thinking, cultivate minds of virtue, this is not possible in the lower realms. Not being able to meet teachings, not being able to cultivate virtue, but being under the almost complete control of afflicted minds, one just accumulates further causes to remain bound in these suffering realms. So thinking like this, in the second way, in addition to thinking about the manifold sufferings that are experienced there, leads to a strong determination that even at the cost of my life, I will not accumulate virtue.
Ini dus chene ane ngasong ge dunga dige samta chesa ngasong ge dunga dele tha gyu dige ne dipele le tine chungware chesa di temba sangye chemne songware se ane de dus samta dipele le tine chungware tene enza ta ngasong la kewa thaya dele ya an dipele de panggudu sene dene janju semba namgi dene gi chen janju semba dige tangbo nyamnen chidyu kapla an dene ge samna taashine digbi kosom lunga yusunyu kone dibi kewa dibi lega chayade pe zochine ane pangwares cheza sa dibi tsunya ta bene denigi nyema le dibi le sa shabati ane ka sore nyempo topshu kone sha dade dibi lunga yusunyu kone diba kewa sa diba sa do sama chuba che anduchene nyemne nawares gore.
Those who are bodhisattvas in the world, when they were aspirants, they came to understand this training clearly, that the cause for being reborn in the lower realms is non-virtuous karma. And this one can have no doubt about, because this was taught by the Buddha. Not wanting to suffer in the lower realms, even at the cost of their life, aspirant bodhisattvas do not accumulate any non-virtue. Not wanting to be separated from the teachers and teachings and have their spiritual progression greatly impeded, aspirant bodhisattvas refrain from any form of non-virtue. Not wanting to have their spiritual progression delayed and thereby their ability to be of great benefit to others greatly impeded, aspirant bodhisattvas restrain their body, speech and mind from any form of non-virtue, and they do so with great determination. As we see in the last lines here, thus, even at the risk of my own life, never committing harm is the practice of bodhisattvas.
Dine za da dine jesa da dine ge dipe le pa nga so le kyewa chima nga so me kyewa den da du sin dipa pa ya de bezu che ane dine an chege da de tin de le ya ane bene ko ale nge jun kya nge jun gom ya dang ane de shi an ju chan shu sim kye ge den da gyu gyunde me nga du gom ya de ge ane bezu che ba res ane ma se ane kyewa chima nam so ine ya den ju gi densa denjugi milu rinpoche tobeyage denjugi rinpoche tobeyage lui tobeyage danda la gyu ane lunga yisungi nyejo timbu tsurim soya da ane jimbe nyamla cha suiwe nyamla cha zunre nyamla cha ane jigmo lam tabya dus nyamla nanguwa des karasane tse dele ya ane nyamla cheche chanshu sim lam yu rinpa kye matuba ine ten chimi tela Gyalse chimalaya, tendelaya, and the church, Gobraya, and that ten Zangpo, just and Bendigo reading the Matoba in that, Nason like Geba in that, Yamlenji church, Gorag Meba Zang, church, Gobyasho, the Karasan Bendigo reading the rate, just that Bendigo reading the Gyalse Soya, and the Bendigo reading Tobago Dandala, Setelia, and the Gager, Lunga swing. And the Gager, Saki or Trupche, Lucin Pesuche, now, Nangore, Changes and Banam, Lucin Yamlin Nangores, just that Dambo Yamlin didn't nang. Denegi that the Yamlin Cheatia and the Jig Deeper Payada, Gager Druyatia, Yamlin Nala did it, the Niel Shebanashi, and the Gavishin, Gavishin, Tempa Tele Sushin to Tempa Nashi, and the Nashin Jinan, or Jig draw some Bolatene, and Yamlin dus Nangore Eje. Denegi Yamlin Nangne, Takazula, Chanjusim Gula Kiene, Chanjusim Gula Kiandu, the Nekine Simjan, and the Jigge, Gesevicella, and the Parchin to Yamlinde. Bezuchin and Nangurwas. Says that Parchin to Yamlin dus now do, and the Chanjusim Gula Kiasawa in the Shen Simja Tamje and Dunga Jayada, Diki Tubiagi, Shanla Sosugi, Yamyo Tone, Sosugi, Teg, Yamyo Yobaza, Lam Yamlin Gula Kiasawa, Gomnadi, Disinela, Yamlin Chetati, Sasan Sosu Yamyo Baza, Shalia, and Shengi Dunga Seg, Shalia, Lamdunche, Shalia, Shen, and Shalia Pemba Troop, and Shengi, Shendi, Simja Shandaine. Dunga Joyada, Diki to Vega Dondala, and Jawai Bene Lapchimo to Borders, Chisa, Geshe Chanjusim Namgi, Dambo Yamlin, Nana Dine Nam, DJ La Chanjusim Rangi Gula, Chanjusim Gula, Gies Hania, Rangi Parchin to Yamlin Chegadu, and Shan Simjala Panto in this two borders, on the to go to the Chanjusim Pig, Geshe La Lens, Chanjusim Pig, Charles Mason, the legal Mason, Dine Nangores.
Having reflected in this way then on the sufferings of the lower realms as well as the impediment to spiritual development that a rebirth in the lower realms would entail, then the aspirant bodhisattva with strong determination subdues their mind, refrains their mind from going in a non-virtuous direction, and thereby also restrains their body and speech, preventing the accumulation of non-virtue. Moreover, being an aspirant for the parts of a bodhisattva, the meditation continues into reflecting on the sufferings that pervade cyclic existence, not just the lower realms, and using this as a basis then to generate bodhicitta through the meditation on the 6 cause and 1 effect method. And so this we've had described earlier. And the bodhisattva in these meditations and in their daily life will make great effort, though, to also accumulate the causes for good rebirth. These are ethical conduct, generosity, patience, joyous perseverance, and stainless prayers. And they'll do so because they understand that not only must they ensure they don't fall into the lower realms in the next life for the reasons that they have already realized, but if they don't become a bodhisattva in this life, then they need a further human rebirth, precious human rebirth, marked with the 18 qualities, so that they can continue their spiritual development. And therefore, they don't only refrain from non-virtue, but they put great energy into accumulating the causes for good rebirth. And then moreover, as we heard, has been described thus far, in order to progress ever more rapidly towards the attainment of the cultivation of bodhicitta, they rely wholeheartedly on their spiritual teacher, on their virtuous friend. They surround themselves by wholesome friends, by Dharma friends, wholesome companions. And under the guidance of their teacher and the influence of wholesome friends, they make great effort to cultivate the mind of bodhicitta within themselves. And then when the aspirant fulfills their heartfelt desire and generates bodhicitta within themselves, and that bodhicitta is stable, and they've gained experience of the six perfections, they then re-enter society, free from the danger of interacting with friends who previously were unwholesome, and now using the connection as well as their inner development, they help beings. They start to enact their bodhisattva aspirations. And how do they help beings? Based on their experience that has been produced in dependence on knowledge, they guide sentient beings skillfully to turn away from non-virtue, to accumulate virtue. So this refuge precept of bringing beings under the care of the refuge jewels through turning their mind to the trainings of the Dharma in a skillful way, turning them away from the accumulation of virtue and towards the accumulation of virtue. And at this point then, the bodhisattva is engaging in the actual work of bodhisattvas, being of direct benefit to sentient beings.
Dewa Deba Dunga Midova Chibare, Anzo in the Korea Dungala Taku War, Chisa Dungala Taku War, Anson Dungala Taku War, Deni in Zada, Anzo in Eda, Yamajan Sembati Yiki, Koranzu, Korea Dungale, Masonga Dungala, Materbe, Negaso, Yamlendus Nawanashi, Anzo in Eda, Mason Makia Utandala, and give you Masonki Gudi, Lunga Yusu Nietzsche Tempiki, Nietzsche de Domguade. Masiki Chimachagora, Nietzsche Dum Korea, Chesa, Deni Zadanga, Surimsung said, Nami Surimsingora, Lunga Yusum Nietzsche, Zawakin Shan, Nibi, Jawa, Zawakin Chigme, Sempiki Sunyade, Surimsung Sigure, Nietzsche Domba Sigura, Donda Chibare, Chesa, Miki Jubong, Surimsung Asiada. O do so by na, Dijavadi, and then I'll do the Chegore, Snadi, Jabaina, to give a chima, and then Lada Migo Pantobegi, Dendri. Didn't to be Guchagore, Jedeva. Says that Dendri Dendaya, Dendri Litobas and Jigo, Martin Delaya, and then I'll get Tunje, Gekanga Mateva, and the Jigo, Denenza, Di Yagoya Dondala, and Jimbanium Nachata, and Jiwombo Sawada, and the Jig Denigi, and Jig Sishida Temba, Doda Temba, Dondala, and Subanium Nachigore. That you watch Martin, Denigi, Wombat Sawa, Milu, Dento, Wombat Sawa, Denigi, Sosugi, and the Tunja Yakoyoba in there, Chuyam Nachi Marana, and Jig Denise, Jedinza, and the Chuyam, give it meet in the Chuyam Yabusia, Dondala, that I'm to Zundri, Zumbiata, give it Cholia, Jig, Anzuki, Bayabores and Gashin, Trishan on the Jawacheva, Yamlan Chebaina, and give it meet in the Leon to Kewachialia, and Dumba, Chimboya, Kewachi Cobra Gore, the Nigi that the Yawalemba La, to get any Monam Givishin Yabuchi tear shores, and the Givishin Yabuchi Teber shores, and the Nigi Monamiana and Diada, on those in the Monam Tap to share dinner. That Yawachima had a Miugo von Toyada, Yawachima, Manson, Media Gudi, did it, just I didn't Manzi, Manzi and Dikan Chituki, the Yamnachawa Regere.
Here has been presented how to train in order to become a bodhisattva. And moreover, once one has become a bodhisattva, how to continue with one's training. Here, a key component in one's training to become a bodhisattva is to recognize the similarity between ourselves and others. We are all the same in wanting to experience happiness, all the same in not wanting to experience any form of suffering. In fact, each and every being yearns to be freed of the sufferings of samsara, even if they haven't yet identified them, even if they have no idea about what the sufferings of samsara is. So we have this knowledge, and this bestows a special responsibility within us. We have to train and make great effort in our training of our minds, training of developing ourselves mentally for the sake of others, particularly for those whose ignorance is so strong that they are lost in confusion and have no idea to the extent of their suffering, let alone its causes. And to ensure that the aspiration we have to become a bodhisattva is realized, we need to apply ourselves wholeheartedly to refraining from non-virtue, no matter how slight. Because non-virtue is the cause of all suffering. Non-virtuous karma, negative karma, is what will lead us for rebirth in the low realms, separate us from our dharma development, prevent us from becoming a bodhisattva of great benefit to others. So therefore, the aspirant bodhisattva pays great attention to her cultivation of ethical conduct, developing a mind of restraint, and thereby restraining the body and speech. And this is a practice of great importance for the aspirant bodhisattva, because the practice of ethical conduct, training the mind to be ethical, it prevents the accumulation of negative karma, the causes for rebirth in the lower realms. It is a virtuous act, and therefore it accumulates virtuous karma. And ethical conduct is the primary cause, or the main cause, for rebirth in the happier migrations as a human or a god. Which means, should the aspirant bodhisattva not fulfill their wish and become a bodhisattva in this life, they are creating the causes that will lead to them continuing to have a good rebirth in their future lives. Moreover, the aspirant bodhisattva, in addition to training in ethical conduct, whilst that is their primary of primary importance, they will conjoin it with accumulating the other causes that are required to ensure rapid spiritual development in their future lives. So us, as aspirants to the Bodhisattva paths, us who have a desire to give rise to the Bodhisattva paths, I encourage you in this. Concentrate on restraining your mind, being ethical, keeping your mind away from non-virtue, and conjoining this with other trainings. Practice developing a generous attitude, a wish to be of benefit to others. Develop this within yourself, the wish to help others in any way one can. And this creates the causes that in our future lives we have an abundance of resources. And therefore, we have, and this enables our spiritual development, because our conditions for spiritual development are favorable, not averse. We're not going to be consumed, our time and energy consumed with needing just to sustain ourselves. So therefore, develop this mind which is completely in accordance with the Bodhisattva of the wish to be of benefit to others, the practice of generosity. And in dependence on these trainings of firstly of ethics, secondly of generosity, as these develop, the third training, that of patience, becomes ever easier to develop in a sustained way. Patience, the mind that stays subdued in the face of adversity. This is crucial to someone wanting to avoid non-virtue and someone who wants to become a bodhisattva. So we need to cultivate patience, train in this mind that stays subdued in the face of adversity. And it leads then to the results that in our future lives we have harmonious relationships with others, and our sense faculties are unimpeded, and that too then makes our spiritual development much easier. Then the fourth cause we need to conjoin with is that of joyous perseverance, and this is crucial, because if in our future lives we're born as a human with abundance of resources and have harmonious relationships with others and our sense faculties complete, but we lack a natural inclination to virtue, we are overcome with laziness and distraction, procrastination. we're going to struggle to develop spiritually. We're going to struggle to achieve our goal of becoming a bodhisattva. So therefore, cultivate the mind of joyous perseverance. Delight in the virtue that you are accumulating. Bring joy to your mind in these practices and commit to continuing so. And then lastly, make regular prayers that in all our future lives, may we be born wherever our teachers are, come under their care, recognize them at a young age as true Mahayana spiritual friends, aspire to receive teachings, and to put wholehearted energy into training our mind, cultivating these teachings. In other words, aspire to continue to hear teachings, reflect and meditate repeatedly over a sustained period, lifetime to lifetime. The ninth practice of Bodhisattvas. This now is a practice that is in accordance with a practitioner of intermediate capacity. So it's just looked at the practice that's in accordance with the being of initial capacity, and now we come to that of a practitioner of intermediate capacity. And here their focus shifts from the lower realms to samsara in its entirety, seeing that there is no happiness, no lasting, stable happiness to be found anywhere within the realms of samsara.
Sisum dewa zeze siva shins, yuzam shiki, chikpi chuchen yins, namyan bikyo, talbiyo kupang chok, ndondo nyarwa gyase lale yins.
In the ninth practice, samsaric delight, like a dewdrop on the tip of a blade of grass, being subject to disintegration, last but a mere moment. Thus striving for the unchanging supreme state of liberation is the practice of bodhisattvas.
안는다 먼저 대시 녀려야 안에 감숨 콜위 동화 가서래 나송의 동화를 타고 그래디 나서 동화기에 그 디바티게 방고 그래 시셔와 안에 나송이 하다 미고 봐 토비게 그 안에 개와서 그래 수림다 지말아서 봐 기회티게 싸고래 되셔와 다시 완자 안다 하다 미고 봐 토바는 지교를 배서네 지사다 디잠냐 디에스가야 말레스 지사 하다 미고 봐 토바는 대된래 동화 요레스 지사 레다 뇽몬보 온기 감숨 강도 깨와 있나양 안에 지게 동화 요여 말레스 동화 방요 말레스 지사 시숨세도 베네 냐와 가서래 시베숨세도 나소체 된조 달 미체 안에 이게 라이레고 방 디숨보데라 강도 깨와 있나 시베숨보 강도 깨와 있나 레다 뇽모 온기 깨와 신시라 안에 동화대 방토요 말에 제가 되자 공조 나게 용거래 안에 동화 방토 봐 용거래 세지 싱고로와 되니 인자 안에 네시 되니기 동화 방요 말에 세지 디시고로와다 동화를 타려 말에서
Having already given rise from the reflections previously, a strong desire not to be born in the lower realms, to experience all the pain and suffering there, as well as to have one's spiritual progression severed, and thereby not being able to fulfill one's wish to become a bodhisattva. One has committed to abandoning non-virtue, understanding that this is the cause that leads to the result of lower realm rebirth. And wanting rebirth as a human or God, one commits to accumulating only virtue, ensuring that one's mind is always virtuous, and thereby one's speech and behavior is too. Here then, the thinking develops that whilst being born as a human or God is certainly preferable to being born in the lower realms, suffering is far less manifest, far less profound, and moreover spiritual development is possible. And so whilst a human or a rebirth as a human or God is preferable to one in the lower realms, it is still insufficient. And this is because wherever one is born, whether the happy or the migrations or the lower realms, one's existence, one's experiences are still pervaded by suffering. All beings, whether humans or gods, suffer. The sufferings of the upper migrations, the happier migrations, may be much less severe than the lower realms, but still, all our experiences are pervaded by suffering. And moreover, having minds that are largely under the influence of the afflictions, where the afflictions ripen so readily and so easily dominate and control us, it is still difficult, even in the upper migrations, the happier realms, to attain freedom from samsara. And thereby, we have no freedom from suffering, even as a human or a god. And this is then presented here in the first line. Samsara, and this is what we're covering. Sorry, this is what we're covering here in this verse, and it's meant by the first couple of words, samsaric delights.
지상 코웨 동아래 마타와레스 코웨 동아래 마타와자 나주고 코웨 동아기 주 녀모제 규레다 녀모 바디레다 녀모 바디게 빠요 말에 마바와인자 내가 반주기 하다 미고방 토바 예나양 안에 양 녀모 마바와인자 디기 양 코라사 되자 녀모가 야게 레사 양자 가솔레게 게 냐가 요레스 이제 양자 안에 코와레게 예 냐가 요레 데니 장안줄로 코와레 타고 오래 세데 코와레 마타나 마들 친제라 둥알레 타요 말 진짜 코와레 데 타와지 오래 코와데 빵고 오래 해서 그러와
Ordinary beings like ourselves who remain bound within cyclic existence, we are trapped here in samsara because of our contaminated karma that we have accumulated under the influence of our own afflicted minds. And here we take this understanding and we combine it with our reflection on impermanence earlier, recognizing that whilst we have achieved the greatest of possible rebirths that is still within samsara, that of a precious human rebirth, this rebirth is impermanent. It will come to an end. And as we remain beings who are still dominated and largely controlled by our afflictions, these lead to the continued accumulation of non-virtue, of negative karma, and therefore, at the time of death, there remains a possibility of falling to the lower realms. And this is the case for all beings bound within samsara. At every death, they are faced with a very real possibility of falling into the suffering lower realms.
하다미 레다 녀모왕가 하다 밀리 깨와 깨제 엘라리 깨와이나다 밀리 깨와이나다 데니기 안지 야다 베네 마송게 둔도로 지나 다 녀와 바다지 솔라다 대화요야 말와 된 둔도리아 대화 중세 요하요 나는 맞아 미달 할래야 대화 밀리아 대화 요하요래 안데네 야 할래야 대화 안지 요하요로 지산 데니기 대화 용하지 안주기 시비 대화서 디디디솔라 시비 대화레스 제상 안주기 시비 대화들 차죠 코웨 대화들 차죠 아주 하다 밀 게도 소수기다 미기 만 세디기 디기세디 코웨 대화래 제상 코웨 대화 델레 차지 나가주기 세디기 담냐다 용야 세디기 류 대화 용야 세디게다 소소야 안지 사야도야 다 데니기 세디기 변조야고 데니기 대화 잠라 차지네 안 델레야 아주 고고하지네 안지 레가디도 지네 되자 공도 상황도 손데 레가다 말아지네 두진네 레사야자 안 코와레 코와레 타투고 말아 제상 데니엔사 데니기 코위 시비 대화들 닝부하여 말레스 삼다만 대화디 빼 충충 휴지레스 니바이나 충충 빼 니바 충충 개와데스 마도요 말 빼네 자지기 시버로 치레지 자가라 여베 시버가라 추티버 지어바네 니 추지디 추빼 뉴뉴레 세다 Gyalse de Pemasa Gyashim Chimbushuru. That's a Chunchumadu, my Shanda Lumba Sue and the Servant, Shugal Savana, Shu Des, but the Lumba Sutu Mare, Chiktuya and Budu just to an Akakomia Roja Santa Mother, Digi Shanda, Pampa Gyashim to Mare, and the Tzazi Sivane, Pe Chiki, Yun. Chunchure, CB Deva Anzuke, Namunal Hala Milk in the Deva Shu Kiwu, Manzuke Delia, Chick Iman Kiche, Anzu Didon la Kale Captuagi, CB Deva said, Pemas Deva Chunchur Shure, such as a dead Anzuki, Yitzim Delia, Gokora Yomares or CB Deva, Sisum Deva, says Siva Yin said, Siva Shin said.
Wherever one is born, whether it's in the suffering lower realms or in the so-called happier migrations as a human or God, all these rebirths that are uncontrolled, where the beings have no control over their rebirth, these rebirths come about due to their own contaminated karma they have accumulated in dependence on their own afflicted minds. And if it's a negative karmic imprint that ripens, it propels a lower rebirth in the lower realms. If it's a virtuous imprint, it propels a rebirth in the happier migrations. And whilst there is a stark difference in terms of the amount of suffering experienced in these realms, what they have in common is no freedom. No being experiences any freedom from suffering, because their very nature of uncontrolled rebirth in samsara is that it's pervaded by suffering. And even those with good rebirths, every death they face the real possibility where they may well fall to the suffering lower realms. And moreover, we turn now to the first line, samsaric delights like a dewdrop on the tip of a blade of grass. Samsaric delights or samsaric pleasures, these refer to our ordinary worldly delights, things that we find pleasurable, desirable, what we long for, what we hope to hold on to, what we hope to gain, what we yearn for because we've lost. And these will differ from the many that we have experienced or we long for, to the far greater delights that God's experienced, as well as the pleasures that beings in the lower realms, such as animals and spirits, experience. Those who are born in the realms of greater suffering, in the hell realms, they experience no samsaric pleasures. There are none to be found there. But in the other realms, there are varying degrees of pleasures and delights. But these are samsaric, and this is an important distinction. Because this happiness is contaminated. It's contaminated because its causes are contaminated. Moreover, this happiness is incredibly transitory. This happiness is weak in strength. It has no great magnitude at all. And this is important to relate to in terms of our own experience. Everything that we enjoy and we yearn to still experience and we long for because we've lost, all of these are weak in strength. They quickly pass. They make the smallest of impacts in terms of happiness on us. And this is why they're likened here to a dewdrop on the tip of a blade of grass. If we think of the benefit that comes from a dewdrop, other than for small insects, this provides very little benefit for beings. If we think of the water in a vast lake, that provides a huge store of benefit. Whatever delight any being experiences in samsara, everything that we long still to achieve, we miss that because we've lost, or we're experiencing now, is likened to a dewdrop in that there's so little value to it. So this is important to reflect on, so as to overcome the deception, the way that we are currently deceived, the way that that our desire for the samsaric delights deceives us. It's important to become aware of this to overcome this deluded state.
다 유점식이 직비 최전인 세대 实际上在行来话西北区的就南山你们来就下上的写的南山甘住过来是个南山甘住过来是实际上云问题退嘛南山没法查过来是安地嘛是他过春秋节列解弄的是接安在的对国家当中去的嘛啥住过来是其实没法查过来是那被顶部要嘛南山甘悄悄南山几悄悄没法查悄悄的在这个西部赛的被其实用的什么都没法接了呀南山出来之后就像这几悄悄见的就那没法查悄悄的这的我的难心我做科学电话现在我做他的米那这个电了给的米我做米路下边的电话修这个电话什么的我做9度下去这样变就要科学电话下去电话就第一句嘛那的科学电话全修起来那些在西边呢全一把了但南山几悄悄的那个机会把的电话的南山我这个南山空了起来呢电话南山起来然后这对下修全部接近地境真的空了西端我接近西端没几个对些青年把都度假的这拉上南山啊做空了给我了其实南山去这电话南山没法查出来其实电话电不有嘛的全修起来你把别全的你嘛是南山出来着全有着出去了电不有嘛的现在的那些就是有什么西边确诊是给我的那些那那电话了的那其实的那呢俺南山俺几彻底怎么电话俺的所以彻底嘛西着呢俺电话的念不过来其实的你电机电话电不的嘛来说了有这么些个几边确诊一些的
Samsaric delights like a dewdrop on the tip of a blade of grass. So here, this first line points to how very little benefit there is from samsaric pleasures, despite the energy, the mental and physical energy we put into acquiring them, longing to achieve what we don't have, yearning for what we've lost. But moreover, as we see in the second line, being subject to disintegration lasts but a mere moment. So not only do our samsaric pleasures serve very little purpose or have very little benefit, but the benefit that is experienced is unstable. And this is because it's subject to disintegration or momentary change, being impermanence, and therefore lasts but a mere moment. Here again we refer to the illustration of a dewdrop on the tip of a blade of grass. Just the slightest of breeze will cause the blade of grass to quiver and the dewdrop to fall. So too, the slightest of causes leads our pleasures to be lost. They have no strength. Or when the morning dew is quickly lost as the temperature rises just by a degree or two, so too, the subtle change in conditions, our pleasures, our samsaric pleasures are lost. Here reflect on all the happy experiences you've had. Perhaps you've acquired something, you've bought something that you've long yearned for, so now you're happy. But very soon, desire for something better comes, and you are dissatisfied with what you had. That happiness from this acquisition is lost. Or if you're in a good mood, you're having a nice day, and you meet someone, and they criticize you, they scold you, they speak to you in a harsh way, a judgmental way. Immediately, our peace is lost. Maybe we even get angry, and we stay unhappy for hours afterwards. That just goes to show that pleasure, that samsaric pleasure, that happiness we experienced before, no strength, no stability at all. Or if you're experiencing some happiness, and then other afflictions such as pride or jealousy, resentment, these arise, happiness is lost. And it does so with such ease. This is an important point to reflect on. And moreover, we can tie it to the previous reflections on the impermanence of this life, because all that we've striven to achieve in this life will be lost when death comes. Death, the greatest show of impermanence. This, when death comes, all these samsaric delights are lost.
다 감숨시비 대화된 닝보요 말했어. 매완자 다는 대화된 닝보 유힌 대화의 가르에 남나 남야 민두 남야 미규를 타비고 황촉서라. 제가 타르바세도 토바이나 아니 개화디 기디네 대화네 대화마도 유어기는 줘요 말했어. 다디네게 네네 타비기 다 타르바세 딩아도 레 녀모바 빵비게 빵네 사보나 제바 빵비 빵바 타르바 토요도 아니 개화디 대화디 유어기는 줘야만 남야 미규 기디네 유어줘야만 대화네 대화레스 탈비고 마도바나 남야 미규로 탈비고 방 다디나 촉시디 탈비고 녀모바 짱베 빵베 빵바 타바토나 유어기네 줘야만 대화레 다 딜레야가 녀모 바샤다 제바 빵베 빵바 미니베 냥디에서 토바이나 때 탈바나네 초도 규바디 디레스 진짜 디 초도 규바다 남야 미규어 대화네 대화인바 마세 다 랑기 균 바샤다 제바 빵차와인자 현래 페버 주야기 아니 뉴바 아니 지게 뉴발라 남야바데 톱차와레스 그렇다 지내자 탈비기 고바나네 남야 유엄베 대화 초도 대화는 탈비 대화들이 디나네 초도 규바디 안 탈바데 야네 미니베 냐데 탈바데 상교고 톱나 아니 대화 초도 규바레 디네 인자 전주세만음기 아니 디니기 돈돈여와 게세 라린 세데 전주세바데 얘기 안 디니기 코비 동아 타달레 빵바 타르바 톱부두 삼제 대양 아나 동아 바샤단체 빵비 미니베냐디 톱부두 셈베디 돈돈여제 안두스 냠는 거래제 돈돈여와 게세 라린 세데 숨거래
The first two lines, samsaric delights like a dewdrop on the tip of a blade of grass, being subject to disintegration lasts but a mere moment. Reflections here serve to turn us away from this constant craving, desiring for pleasures within samsara, coming to see that there is no pleasurable state worth striving for as long as it remains bound within samsara. What is worth striving for is what we see in the next two lines. Thus, striving for the unchanging supreme state of liberation is the practice of bodhisattvas. The first two lines point that there is no happiness to be found in samsara that is worthy of a being with as great a potential as ourselves of striving for. We who have the capacity to do something quite remarkable with what remains of this life, to continue to be consumed by desires for things of no worth, is foolish. Rather, to turn our mind from such desires and focus on achieving the happiness that is worthwhile, happiness that is stable, happiness that is not transitory. That is worth striving for. And that is the happiness of liberation. Because when liberation from samsara is achieved, one is liberated from suffering. Liberated from suffering comes about through the complete eradication of the afflicted minds, the causes of suffering, together with their seeds so they can never again ripen. And thereby, one attains liberation from suffering. And liberated from suffering means one can only experience happiness. Peaceful state of mind, a form of happiness that doesn't waver, that doesn't change. Moreover, as aspirant bodhisattvas, our goal is not for a mere state of liberation, the state of mere nirvana, but rather for that of non-abiding nirvana, or the supreme liberation, non-abiding nirvana, supreme liberation. These are the state of Buddhahood. State of Buddhahood is the goal of bodhisattvas. So therefore the bodhisattva strives to overcome, to destroy their afflictions, together with their seeds, as well as their stains, the imprints of the afflictions. And the reason the bodhisattva has this greater goal, the supreme goal, is because it's then that they are a Buddha. And they then are a perfected being and can have the greatest skill and capacity to guide beings to achieve such a state themselves, to guide beings to overcome their afflictions together with their seeds and imprints. So with such a motivation, a bodhisattva strives to overcome their afflictions, striving to achieve the unchanging state of supreme liberation. And that is the practice of bodhisattvas.
다 감숨 고와 강도 깨와나 대화세데 베마세 대화 누바 충충 되네 대화 tempo 메디현 주어도 쇼시레샤 제가 땡기 대화데 토부면 누스 진짜 되네 자당 쪽에 내려야 차지 아니 디던달라 대삼기 감숨기 코르에 대화들라 차지 아니 내가지 되바는 그디나 코와를 저 투사 말에 되네 자다 대레저나 다 땡기 대화데 가르스나 코리아 감숨 코리아 동아 타달레 빵베 빵바 타르바세도 토바나 아니 디 아니 제 띵이 대화들이샤 제자디 대화니 대화마도 아니 그디나 용하이사다 자와기네 용하마 제자 띵이 대화 타르베고 바들이샤 타르바 델라양 녀모바바시 녀모바 사바나 제바 짬빵비게 타르바디 아니 내갑기 타르바래 내갑기 타르바 자준비 자준비고 마토야 년도에다 라자다 디니게 자준비 내갑기 타바리마도 데타르 소소라랑 아니 동아를 타달을 줘야지 대화니 대화래데 아니 셴레야 판바자치 부족투야 될민도 디네자 셴레야 랑이 대화니 대화 중앙 마세 셴심자 탐제라 판바자치 부족투야라야 아니 내 탈비 초 상계고 미니베냐디 토부구도 삼제 연된 디레샤 미니베냐데레샤 지선 디 토부구도 삼제 내내기 안에 제도 제바제 아니 데니기 연된 통제네 안디엔자 아니 샘제 탐지기 된다려야 탈비고 초 상계고 토비 치도 배제 제제 되녀 제제 안데 대시 가승이 셰바나지 그 동안에 타된 이중 삼나 고미야 안에 지금 샘제 탐제 당념 고미야 마시 진진진소 이원 잠바 고미야 되네 라삼 남다 인지 첨보제 라삼 남다 세곰 되네 장주심 개발에 뒤도 진 장주심 냠는 진 장주심 귤에 계속하래서 다 장주심 귤에 세회 제라 제자다 심전 탐지교 된다라 사지고 봐 냐디 초 탈비오 초 다산지고 봐 미니베냐데 토야 된다라야 배제 첨부 제제 안에 가서래 아니 파신 쪽에 냠는디 지고래 지대 진바 추천서버 전주 냠내제 안 하버도 디 냠지제 디 때라 하버도 다되네 신이 동반이라 미비기 신이 좀 띵에 진게지 시스템대 냠는제야다 데니기 신이 디 안에 동반이 또비 셰랍디 안 라동오제 동반이라 미비 실라 손지 냠는 조는 거레스 제선 실라 손지 냠는 조는 데니기 나네 데 랑게 냠는 데네 난 셴심제 탐제게 안디기 주야다 동아세에 도나라 셴리야 안에 지게 쉐쉐 안에 냠는 제주야 소수기 냠는 제바나 셴리야 펜바 개치무 주고레스 뒤다 남바군도다 최 냠는 제바 차상 샘전 탐지기 된다라 마도 랑도에서야 유니메 바지 디차상 샘전 탐지기 된다 인선 소수기 개와 간에 주변에 개 롱주 간에나 샘전 탐지를 펜바 주베치도 인삼지 두 땅전에는 전주선마다 유도스진 차례는 거를 제가 되니기 전주선마 인예를 되는 차례는 전주선기에 세회제라 도스전은 냠는 지고래제 안 시고르다 게세게 라린세데 전주선백에 레가로 마소나 차례 되는 거래서 그러다
Those yearning to cultivate the bodhisattva paths within themselves, in order to actualize this wish, once again, they look at their life, they look at their experiences, in this way coming to know themselves better, understanding reality ever better. And come to see, as we see presented in this ninth training, that all samsaric happiness, the delights, the pleasures of samsara, these are unworthy of a being with such great capacity. These are unworthy of someone like us who has given rise to a wish for something far greater, the wish to become a bodhisattva. These samsaric happinesses are not stable, they're unreliable, and moreover they're untrustworthy in that they deceive us, letting us think that they have a value which they do not possess, and therefore always let us down. Coming to see that all this time and energy we put into achieving various forms of worldly happiness is not worthy of a being such as ourselves' energy. Seeing this, realizing this, having great clarity of this, then the aspirant bodhisattva turns their attention to what is worthwhile, the state of lasting happiness, stable happiness. And here, as an aspirant bodhisattva, they'll be sure not to strive merely for the lower goal of a foe destroyer or an arhat. Because while such a being does, such a great being does eliminate the afflicted minds together with their seeds, that is as far as the aspiration will take them. A bodhisattva wants to achieve something far greater. So as an aspirant bodhisattva, we should strive to also, of course, destroy our afflictions and their seeds, but continue beyond that, wanting to become a being of greatest benefit in this world, a being of supreme qualities and ability. Strive not for ordinary liberation, but for supreme liberation, not for ordinary nirvana, but for non-abiding nirvana, for Buddhahood. This is the goal of the aspirant bodhisattva. Here, having generated these realizations now in their continuum, they engage in the meditations that we've described before, reflecting on the sufferings of samsara, giving rise to the sincere wish to strive for liberation from samsara, the mind of definite emergence. Taking then, secondly, taking that meditation and the result of that meditation and applying it to others, seeing that others too long for happiness but are mired in suffering, and others have shown us such kindness in the past. And here we reflect on the 6 causes and 1 effect method, giving rise to the effects of bodhicitta. Having generated bodhicitta, then one meditates in the actual practices of bodhisattvas, the 6 perfections. Because it's these that need to be cultivated in order to transform this determination to become a Buddha into the attainment of the state of Buddhahood. So having generated bodhicitta in our meditation, we then strive with vigor at the meditations of the 6 perfections. And when we're actually achieved, we in particular put our energy into cultivating the union of calm abiding and meditative insight onto the object of emptiness of inherent existence. And in this way, already having gained long familiarity with the meditations on the prior perfections of generosity, ethics, patience, and joyous perseverance, now we cultivate the union of calm abiding and meditative insight and apply it to the subtle object of the emptiness of inherent existence. And we do so with great vigor, because we understand that it's through the cultivation of the wisdom realizing emptiness, in particular when it has the strength of this wisdom being a union of calm abiding meditative insight, that we can eliminate our afflictions together with their seeds as well as their imprints, and all the while being a greatly skilled guide, a guide who can be of true benefit in the lives of others. So this is the way that aspirant bodhisattvas train, and it's how actual bodhisattvas train. Actual bodhisattvas will be training in the same way, free of any thoughts of their own benefit. The other cherishing mind will dominate every thought. Us, as aspirants, we should emulate this, not allowing ourselves to come under the influence of self-interest, but have it clear from the outset that the purpose of every step of this meditation, the purpose of all our activities, is so that we can become a Buddha for the sake of others.
밀리 림보체 토데가 장한들에 세델에 디기로 코르웨 대화를 되듯 녀아 여러와 용고로와 제사 디네서 다 코르웨 대화 대점이야 닝부 주네메바 징도 두시아네야도 삼다 제사 다 띠무요 말에서 코르웨 대화를 마차와체 안데 코르웨 동안들에 타고도 선배께와 치마 지고 코르웨 동안들에 타제 타르바세 토고 선배께 삼나다야다 타바점 안데 토바마세 안데 띵이 탈바 초 상주고만 토고 미니베 냐데세야디 토고 상주고만 토고 디 지도에 안 지게 우리가 예수 예제된 비교 추림소야라서 바다 진배 냠는 제바 수배 냠 전제 냠는 삼대 냠 전제 냠는 디게 지기인 세비가 안 되와 치마 하다 미고방 토야기 띵데려야 안에 거소리 최냠는 제바 제야라게 된다 말람 약고 자기인 사데 데네기 계절라 강도 도도 간속에 매주시야디래 다 데네시야 안 데네기 제바 있는 간속에 안디갈이야 안 데네기 쪼르 디세 데네 간속에 가브리엘이야 간속에 찍다 뉴비 좋아나 something이 신의 주비하게 something 냠는 제야 데네 다음에 동유도 시랍 계약도 동유고 제바체야 도시에 냠는 제야 간속에 데네 강도 지도 제과 차고래 데네기 제바 있나 아니 님지 강도 줄래네야 아니 지게 자주심 줄래게 자주심 차송이나 자기로와 데네 인장아 주게 샬이야 펜바자 지부 주토야기 자주심한테 잘래 나만 나시 강도 자주심 차송나 그런 수 자주심 잘래 나와는 건 잘래 내가 샬래 펜바 주토로와 데네 인장아 주게 데네 제과에 되게 침몰해야지 나가 주게 디링기 다시 냠는 제야디 데네세 안디지 쇼가 셰바나시 가주기 개위신이 당아주 겹숨을 점로 제야다래 동아타다 기비 뉴바도 건조숨 점로 제야래 데네 안라라 겹된 법바 상제데 나랑게 라마디 아니 지게 뭐 예르메 삼다 라미게 연된제 라미 구송 투수 연된제 라말리아 데바체야다 누시는 저기 계주 주변에 차고래 데네지 제 안에 양도 아주 검시해야 돼 계치 뭐 차고래 다디링이 아주 럽센디게 랍시 냠는 제데 데네 차고로와 나 상이는 아주 쉬어야 다 차바 챔비게 람 냠는 제랑 걸다마 전시심 기야야 아니 냠는 제야기 걸 근데 니 계획이 전시심비 유 냠는 제당 걸디 차바 챔비게 람 냠는 제당 걸 상인 마디 고수야 되다.
Understanding how aspirant bodhisattvas have trained, we who have achieved this perfect basis of a precious human rebirth, we need to utilize this life, what remains of this life, in the most meaningful of ways. We need to put all our energy into what is important, what has value. The meditations, the primary starting point of the meditation is reflecting, as we've heard, on the sufferings of samsara, and included in this meditation on the sufferings of samsara is that samsaric pleasures are deceptive, they are untrustworthy and unworthy. And so within this meditation on the sufferings of samsara, we include the suffering of change, which is that these samsaric delights are deceptive, untrustworthy, and unworthy of a practitioner such as, or a being such as ourselves with such potential. And the starting point of the meditation gets developed, as we've heard, to the generation of definite emergence, applying that realization to the situation of others and generate bodhicitta, committing to become a Buddha for the sake of others, and then engaging in the meditation on the six perfections, the actual practices of bodhisattvas. And as we are still aspirants and we haven't generated bodhicitta yet, we include in our dedication prayers for continued good rebirth, to always be under the care of spiritual teachers so that we can rapidly progress and become bodhisattvas and aid as bodhisattvas our teachers in the fulfillment of their heartfelt wishes by being of great benefit to others. And we'll come to it later, but what can be included is at all points in the meditation, Whenever a realization arises, you get a feeling for that particular topic, abide on it in a concentrated way, strengthening your familiarity with that point of meditation and strengthening your concentration so later it becomes easier to develop single-pointed concentration. Moreover, in accordance with one's understanding of the emptiness of inherent existence, include reflections on dependence arising throughout these meditations. And if one does so, meditates in the way that is being outlined in this course, and if one does so with great vigor, repeatedly over a sustained period, it is certain that we all will arise as the most beneficial of beings, that we will transform our lives, becoming bodhisattvas. All that we encounter, not only will we not harm them in any slight way, but we will have a beneficial impact on the life of every being we interact with. And those that we have a strong connection with, we'll be able to skillfully guide them, leading them in the transformation of their own lives. Moreover, one can include in the start of this meditation what we covered earlier, which is the reflections on the spiritual teacher and refuge in the three jewels, seeing how the three jewels are what have the ability to provide protection. And now we have an understanding what is meant by refuge, what's meant by protection. And we see how the Buddha is indivisible in nature from our teacher, and therefore it is entirely suitable to put all our endeavor into following the advice of our teachers, hear teachings, reflect on them, and meditate them, which is also the refuge precepts. And if by doing so, all these great goals of the Buddha Dharma, we ourselves will achieve. So we'll conclude here for today. Tomorrow we'll come then to the trainings that are unique to practitioners of greatest capacity. Thank you.